I thought it was about time to check out this Radiola III-A radio. As you can see, it is a 4-tube set, and here's a little closer look at the front of that radio. Of course, it's Bakelite, and a little bit closer view starting at the upper left side of the radio. You can see that the two tube sockets here, I've got 4 pins, and the pin on the bottom is larger than the other 3, and I believe that large pin is the plate of the WD11. This radio was designed to use 4 WD11s. Here's the right side. You can see the antenna connections on all the way to the right. And here's some more controls. Lower left, you can see that there's a first stage connection. At the bottom there, 2-pin connections. And here's some more controls. These are coils within coils. That's what these 2 controls operate inside this box. Here is the back of the box, and you can see that there's a sticker on the box. Also, you can see the umbilical cord for the batteries for this radio at the bottom there. And here's a much closer look at that sticker that's on this radio. Now here's my first look at the inside of this radio. Now you can see the 2 coiled springs at the top, spring-like things. That's those 2 controls, the coils within the coils moving. Now something that I noticed, if you take a look at the 2 audio transformers that are down at the bottom, I've noticed some modern wire there. Here's a much closer look. You can see a little bit of modern wire there. So chances are what has happened here is that those audio transformers are bad, and somebody replaced them with modern transformers but kept the outer shell of the original transformers, which is fine. It's not likely that I'll find those audio transformers anytime soon, in working condition, that is. Okay, here is a look at one side. Those long things on the right side there, those are capacitors going to the antenna connections. And here's the other side of the radio. Now here is a diagram that I drew up of this radio, and what I'm going to do is I am going to get out an ohm meter, and I'm going to ohm out all the coils and a few other parts to determine if this radio will play. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and choose points where I can test most of the coils all at once. And here's the first setup that I'm going to test. I'm going to put 1 lead of my ohm meter on the positive A and minus B ground connection, and the other lead to the top side of those capacitors for the antenna, and I'll be able to check out all of those coils. And here is that connection, and you can see that the ohms reads 4.8 ohms, so that means that all of these connections are good. So we're starting off pretty good here. Now the next connection that I'm going to connect to is this plus 20B and the plate of the first tube. And here it is, and it reads 408 ohms. So that means that the primary of the first audio is good, and that's very good news. And remember, that was one of the replaced audios. Of course, those other coils are good also. Now the next thing that I'm going to try is this connection. This is the connection to the -C battery, and it will eventually go to the grids of the next 3 tubes. Okay, and here is the connection for the first audio amplifier. It reads 1515 ohms. And here is the next connection. It's one of the push-pull output. It reads 735 ohms. And here is the last one, and it reads 846. So with this test, we've got the secondary of the first audio checking good, and the secondary of the second audio checking good. And remember that both of those audios have modern, looks like we have modern transformers in them. This is going to be my next connection. I'm going to hook one lead of the ohm meter up to the positive 80B battery connection, and then I'm going to test the plates of the next 3 audio tubes. And here is the first audio. It reads 404 ohms. Then the next audio reads 1124 ohms. And then the last one reads 822 ohms. So that means that the primary of the second audio is good, and the primary of the output coil is good. Well, there's really only one coil there. It's sort of a unusual push-pull output configuration because the speaker is connected to 1 and 2 and 4 and 5. Okay, now I'm going to hook one of my ohm leads up to the -A and the +C, and I'm going to check a couple of places in the radio that will go through the variable rheostats for the filaments of the tubes. Now I've rotated them up just a little bit so they are in the on position. And here is one of them, and it reads 1.8 ohms. And here's the other one, and it reads 2.9 ohms. So from that, both the rheostats are good. And from what I can see of all this testing is that this radio should play when I plug some tubes in it and hook it up to a battery and antenna and ground. Thanks for watching.